Hi, I'm your friendly neighborhood neighbor, June Sunday. Today I'm going to be reviewing a superhero movie. Movies in that genre seem to be popping out a lot more frequently over the past couple of years, and I'm going to be reviewing a film from a universe of a wide variety of characters and movies, each seeming to be getting better than the last. That's right, I'm talking about DC.
Boys!
Just kidding. I'm not messing around with the live-action ding-dongs. I'm diving into the 2D heaven that is DC's animated universe. While their recent big-screen films have been arguably terrible, DC can boast a great number of animated features that are a force to be reckoned with. This is my first review, and I figured why not begin with a feature that came out somewhat recently. Batman the Killing Joke. First off, Killing Joke has received less than stellar reviews since it came out about a week ago, and a big part of that, I believe, and you may see, falls into its length. You see, the original graphic novel was only about 50 pages, which is pretty short when compared to other graphic novels as, say, Watchmen, also written by Alan Moore, which is 416 pages. The average comic book length is like 32 pages, and The Killing Joke, I'd say, is closer to the length of a comic book than a graphic novel, even though 10 pages of a comic book are usually ads. But either way, to make The Killing Joke into a feature-length film was going to take DC some stretching. The movie only ended up being like an hour and 16 minutes, and half of that, well, like 30-ish minutes, is this crappy prologue that they wrote to extend the length. That's like when your parents gave you money for pizza, and when it gets to the door, it's more money than what your parents gave you, and so you're scrounging up for all this dirty crack change that's hiding in your house, and the pizza guy's like, seriously? Fuck you. Because he has to count the change, which sucks, like this fucking prologue. It just feels so disjointed, and pales in comparison to the rest of the material that DC has to work with. I just don't understand why they couldn't have adapted the story into a shorter, better quality movie. Honestly, if they just left out the prologue itself, I think the movie would have been better received than it was, but that's just me. But that's not to say that that's the only problem that this film may have. But the two parts of the movie clash so much that I just want to look at them separately.
First of all, I realize this is probably not how you thought the story would start.
No, it's not. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't have thought that too, considering the actual events of The Killing Joke don't actually start until 30 minutes into the movie. I like the art style. It reminds me of the old Batman shows that used to run in like the late 90s. And Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are just my favorite Batman and Joker duo. The curved bat ears somewhat disturb me though. I don't know, I've just always been used to them being pointy. Honestly, the prologue was so forgettable that the second time I watched this to take notes, I skipped it. Spoiler alerts now. The prologue basically focuses on Batgirl, and it starts with Batgirl and Batman chasing a robbery. Batgirl meets Paris Franz, a human plot device. Paris is trying to take over his uncle's underground empire and gets a huge boner for Batgirl. Batman warns her that she shouldn't mess with Paris, but Batgirl pulls a Jyn Erso
I rebel.
and tracks his moves. Paris is eventually able to lead her to his uncle's mansion to find his body. Batgirl almost gets Zurg rushed as the gangsters think she killed him. But suddenly Batman. Batman is justifiably super pissed considering Batgirl just did whatever Paris told her to do without really thinking about it. He pulls Batgirl off the case. Batgirl responds by kicking and punching Batman. Then she kisses him? Now she's undressing? What the fuck? Did they fuck? You're telling me that in this R-rated movie, they don't swear, but Batgirl and Batman have sex? Really?
Freaking A!
They have like this father-daughter relationship, and Batman is like buddy-buddy with her dad. That's somewhat wrong to me. Anyways, Bruce decides to hit it and quit it, and doesn't call Batgirl.
I've been to that dance.
Yeah, you said it, you stereotype. They eventually talk, and she saves his ass, and that's literally it. Paris Franz gets fucking wrecked, and you don't see him again for the rest of the entire movie. And that's the prologue. This subplot felt so unfitting with the rest of the story. It feels like a cartoon with two disconnected 11-minute episodes mashed together into a 30-minute time slot. The rest of the film has nothing to do with Paris, France, or the assassination of Gotham's apparently biggest mob boss. The prologue is nothing special, and compared to the second half of the movie, it only makes it look worse, so its inclusion is just beyond me. Anyways, the second half begins with Batman going to Arkham to give Joker a visit on account of dead bodies found the day earlier. But actually, no. When Batman sees Joker, he doesn't mention the bodies at all. He actually wanted to have a philosophical talk with, and honestly, it sounds like a breakup at the start.
I've been thinking lately about you and me, about how this is going to end.
Batman eventually realizes that the Joker actually escaped and is currently busy buying real estate and having flashbacks of tragic memories revealing what could be his past. How a failing career in comedy led him to crime to support his pregnant wife. The acting in this part I thought was kinda not good at all.
You think I'm not worried about that? You think it's all a big joke to me? I have to go up on stage and nobody laughs.
His wife later dies and he's forced to go through his plans anyways. His gangster buddies dress him up as an expendable decoy to blame when things go south. And they do. Poor guy can't see and Batman makes him shit his pants.
Don't come any closer, monster!
He's finally driven insane when the chemicals bleach his skin and dye his hair. We learn that life truly took a dump on the Joker a day long ago, and maybe to a degree we can sympathize with him. I will never sympathize with this. The Joker then decides he wants to kidnap Commissioner Gordon, but not before telling his bat daughter Barbara to sit down, forever, with a gun. In Hawaiian attire no less. The Joker begins to mentally fuck Commissioner Gordon harder than a couple spending a night. And the movie actually gets pretty dark when the Joker shows the Commissioner pictures of his daughter naked, covered in red life water. Batman eventually finds Gordon and the Joker. Fast forward, stuff happens, and the biggest cop-out ever.
God damn it.
Yeah, same here, dude. Batman offers help for the Joker, but he refuses. He tells a joke and the two laugh. And for a moment, the two have an understanding at each of their spectrums. How their opposing similarities are like symmetry. I'm just pulling your dick, I don't fucking know. The movie is well worth the watch in my mind. No harm if you wanted to skip the first half hour. It's sad that besides the awkward intro, this movie is quite well made. Despite some wooden performances at certain points, the animation looks stellar during the film and is distinct and nostalgic. The latter half of this movie stands on its own and is still great when compared to DC's other works. I don't know why they had to shoehorn a prologue into this film, but if you can get past that, you won't regret it. Thanks for watching, and get the hell off my property. Oh my god, there's a song.
I go loony as a light bulb battered bug. Simply loony. Sometimes fold and chew the rug. Mr. Life is swell in a padded cell. It'll chase those blues away. You can trade your gloom for a rubber room and injections twice a day. Just go loony like an acid casualty, or a movie or a preacher on TV.